Oh, picking up where we left off the other day, with the second half, there must be a lot of confidence taken from that.
Yeah, without a doubt. We knew it was going to be a tough game. We were going against Bradford City at their place in front of 20,000 fans, so we knew it was going to be tough. But I thought the way we went about it, and again, without going over old ground, there was a nervous start, all of that sort of stuff, which again is to be expected. I thought the players showed real character, showed a good level of performance, a good level of energy, and we now know we need to win the game on Saturday. It's as simple as that. And the fact of it is, that hasn't really changed because we knew we were going to have to win it anyway. So we just got to go ahead and do what we can. Really looking forward to it. I mean, I'm hearing all noises about what sort of crowd it's going to be and what the support's, how everybody's feeling. Training's gone really well. It's a brilliant occasion to look forward to. And I always say that you enjoy it much more when you win.
We saw it with Luton last night. People might have written them off, but when you've got that crowd behind you, that noise level, it just adds something.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you look through the history of playoffs, and the first leg's always a little bit tentative. You know, I know we had a different type of game with Peterborough Sheffield Wednesday on the Friday night before our game, but they're always tight. It's the second game that the result matters. That's where it all comes down to. So we're in a game where we're 1-0 down with 90 plus minutes to go. So we're confident we've got enough. We know we're going to have to play well. We know we're going to have to do the things that we did at Bradford last Sunday. And we also know we need to do things better than we did at Bradford last Sunday.
Now, we've seen with occasions like this that you can say whatever you want as the manager. When the boys get out there, if it becomes a game of basketball from the first kick, it just happens that way. How do we guard against that so that we don't open ourselves up?
Well, that's just game management. That's something that, you know, as we sit here today, we don't know what's going to happen in the game. We can have the best laid plans in the world, and Bradford City can have the best laid plans. We don't know how it's going to go, and I just think it's about players. It's about how they cope with the emotion of the day, how they cope with on the mental side of it, and then if they're able to cope with that side of it right, that's when they're able to go and execute the skill and the technical levels.
That was a massive test the other day because some of them, quite a group of them, will not have played in front of a crowd like that with TV cameras everywhere. They handled it.
Yeah, they did handle it. Yeah. Once we got over the sort of the first part of the game and the enthusiasm that Bradford started with, and the type of football they started with as well, it was a little bit different. You know, everybody wants to label us as a quite a direct side, but they were quite direct in the way they went about it, and I don't think there's anything wrong in that. It's about finding a way to get a result. They went direct, they went up to Cook, they won the second balls, the lad got in behind and finished it, so they won't be bothered how it happened, and we've got to find a way this weekend. We have to find a way to stamp our mark on the game from the first whistle. Even though we know we don't have to win it within the first 5 minutes, we've got a long time to do it. We just have to make sure we stay with the game like we did after going a goal down. I thought we showed a calmness about us in the way that we played. We got the ball down and we passed it and we moved it side to side and we stretched them and got in. The one criticism is that we didn't finish it, and that's what we have to do better. Going into the Bradford game, we always knew we were going to have to score at some point in that first game, or over the two legs we knew we were going to have to score. So that hasn't changed. We now know what Bradford are about, they know what we're about, and it'll be whoever handles the afternoon better.
You've touched on it there. If people call us long ball, then what are they saying? Because 5 or 6 occasions we got it down, we got it wide, and we got it in during that second half alone.
I think it's easy to say that, isn't it? You know, it's easy to call people long ball teams. I mean, I'm a manager who I don't want to take silly risks in my own defensive third. I don't see the point in it. You know, we are not Premier League, Champions League players, and you just have to look at the games that are on Sky and BT Sport in the Premier League and the Champions League. The top players are giving the ball away in their own final third and conceding goals, and the top goalkeepers. So why as League 2 players should we take that chance? I think when we get in the middle third, I encourage outside centre-backs to step in and play. I encourage our wing-backs to play. We've got midfielders who are all comfortable on the ball, forward players who are all comfortable. So I'm quite happy if we have 2/3 of the pitch of football and 1/3 where we're quite direct. And I'll be honest with you, this has been my whole philosophy on my life. I don't actually care what anybody else thinks. It's about what we do and how we get results. That's been my philosophy all the time, and I will not change. I want us to play well, however well, whatever well means to somebody else, and I want to make sure we do enough to win the game.
Have you spoken about the danger of being too deflated should they get the first goal? Because even that wouldn't be a disaster.
No, I haven't spoken about anything like that. There's been nothing negative this week. We are preparing for a game in the way that we would always prepare. We will go through the scenarios, the what if scenarios, or I will go through them in my head, and I will have an idea of what changes can be made to affect that. But my planning and my scenario is that we're going to start the game well, we're going to get the first goal, and then it's how we then deal with it. So although we prepare for every eventuality, or we try to prepare for every eventuality, there's no negative thoughts coming into this game. It is positive and we're ready to play.
How do you deal with the boys leading up to that kick-off on what is such a bit, it's now a knockout game, isn't it? There's no two ways about it. How do you deal with them in terms of preparing them for this?
The same way we prepare for every game. We are totally focused on this one game. We know what's waiting if we're successful. We know where we can go if we're successful, and what an opportunity we have. But it is about this one, so we'll prepare. We've done bits of work over this week leading into the game. We're preparing for what could come in the game, and we're just going to have to wait and see how we cope with it, and what team gets selected, because everybody's in with a shout of being involved in it, and hopefully we're able to cope on the day as well as we did in the second half last Sunday.
You said it before, last Sunday's game, nobody needs an incentive for something like this.
Not at all. I mean, if you want to be involved in high level sport, high end of the business, these are the games. You know, we're looking at, if it's not a sellout, it's going to be very close to a sellout, just like it was at Bradford. Two sets of supporters who created a brilliant atmosphere last week. Now we need them to make a really good atmosphere this time. We need the two teams to go on and put on a real good advert for League 2 football, and hopefully they're all going to be up for it, because this is where everybody wants to be involved.
The biggest incentive, it doesn't matter whether it's Wembley or wherever that game gets played, it's a promotion, it's having that on your CV.
Well, that's what we're aiming for. You know, that's what we set off at the start of the season. Before that Crawley game, everybody has the intentions of being promoted. Whether they're realistic intentions or not is irrelevant, but you all start off with that dreamy thought in your head. We're at a point now where we could be 2 games away from it. At the start of the season we were 46 or maybe 49. Now we have an opportunity over 2 games to achieve it, and it's a case of just giving everything we've got. If we give 100% and we do the things that we know we're capable of, we think we can cause problems to Bradford, but there isn't any point thinking about it. We have to go and show it on Saturday in what will be a fantastic occasion.
Another massive positive is the finishers that came on for the game. They all played their part as well. Everybody's up for this.
Yeah, of course they are. You know, we can only select 18. There's more than 18 who are available. But it's up to them, the 11 starters, to go and give us a base, and then the lads who get called upon us off the bench, they've got to come on and make an impact like the boys did last weekend. We want even more of an impact. I want a bigger impact from the starters, and then can we get an even bigger impact from the finishers? And if that's the case, then I'm quite sure we'll all be smiling at the end.
Callum took a heavy fall, a heavy knock. Is he okay?
He's fine. He's trained all week. Everybody's been involved in training all week, so there's no issues as we stand at the moment going into the game.
There is a lot of the lads that were on the periphery that are knocking on the door now, isn't that a great position for you?
Yeah. People like Toby and Brennan Dickinson have now got another week under the belt and of training, so they're a little bit closer again. You know, the other lads who have been on the bench or have travelled, they're all wanting to be involved. JK's back available for the game this weekend, so that we've got some options, and we've got some really good options, and it's just a case of picking a group that are able to go and perform.
I don't mind repeating this, all 4 sides are going to be Carlisle fans. That blue that we're wanting to see, what will that mean? What a difference will that make?
Well, it's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. If we can fill our sections, and know that Bradford will fill theirs, I'm quite sure they would have wanted more. We've just got to go and give them something to shout about. I think second half and bits of the first half at Bradford, we certainly give our travelling fans something to shout about. We need to do it again. We need to make them be noisy. Not, and again, I've said this before. I understand that players have to lift supporters. I'm asking them to come and lift us and do their bit. Let's have players lifted, supporters lifted from that first whistle, and see if we can all together get ourselves over the line for another game at the end of the month.
Are you the kind of fellow who wishes it was just here now? You just want to get it done, or are you okay with the build-up and everything that comes with it?
Well, because the players have worked this week and it's all planned, I want it on Saturday. I want Saturday to come round. Because it's a great game to look forward to. This is why I wanted to get back into management, to try and have a chance to be involved in that. And I know I get stressed on the sideline during the game. I understand all of that, and I know I'm getting more grey hairs, and I know I probably said something that I shouldn't have done at the end of the game last weekend. But it's just because I want to be involved in this side of it. I loved working at the FA. I loved being an assistant. But when you're the manager and you've got the whole what's the best way to say it? The whole weight of expectation on your shoulders, that's a challenge I'm relishing, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Paul, good luck.